So there isn't really much for me to do on Breach, so definitely look up some YouTube videos of Breach guides on Bind if there are any on YouTube, please. Since I get the stats off VLR to try to get like the most, recent best players on these maps. And recently there's not really any Breach players for Bind, and all the good ones are from Game Changers. And I don't like Game Changers that much as they're like a tier below Challengers, so I try to tend to avoid them. I had no choice here, so I chose the best Game Changers team with Breach on Bind. And so this is like what I got based on what they ran. So you're usually going to be playing A, but when you are B, this is what you're pretty much always going to do when you start B. You're pretty much just holding this stun line. Really simple. And if you have to retake, then you go through TP. Don't go by yourself though ever. And whenever you go through TP, do the stun from inside. Help you scale up better. And you could also use this aftershock when you like push to make them flood out on the side. Try to only use that aftershock when your team actually pushes though. From like the rest of your teammates from backside. Because if you just do this aftershock for yourself, it doesn't really do much as they have a bunch of cover. And when you do go from showers, I suggest doing that flash. You have to be careful with this flash as you can flash your teammates. But that is the better flash instead of this one. So if you flash that, it only gets people in this corner and not like the rest of these people. So definitely try to flash that if it's available. Make sure to call out whenever you flash. So when you're playing Breach, you're probably going to be playing A most of the defense, at least for now. It might change depending on what the other agents are, as I've only done Omen. But you're tending to play A, I noticed. And you see this green area, that's the most common place you're going to be playing, like mid-round, not at the start of the round, just mid-round. That's where you fall back to. On Bind, we're like playing for backside a lot. We're trying to keep backside so retakes are easier. We're more passive on front side, we're just trying to hold backside really good. If they plant the bomb, you can use your aftershock to delay them. And you can also use your aftershock for here. It clears the land. You'll definitely get a kill with this if you have a stun with that. Even if you don't have a stun, you could wait for me as a neon and I could stun it for you. And I think you'll get a kill if someone's in there. They usually won't be able to run away in time. So you're just really, playing this. You could jump spot like that. If they push short, you could stun. You could flash, push forward. Just common Breach stuff. If you're holding the left side of A for showers, like if we're doing that type of play, then you could hold your stun like that. And you're just doing that off of someone's contact. And you could also do it from here too. And if you're playing from the front position, do this aftershock. You just line up with that pillar. It's on the left side. And what this aftershock will do is it'll clear this corner. So we have the guy that was spotting, back up to cover, wait for his stun, then push out with that. And your aftershock's gonna clear out the corner so that he gets free pop shots, hopefully. And that's what the Valor plant looks like for that a bit. Really simple play. And in general too, when you're playing Breach, we're doing like a lot of trap contact plays. Unless if we're pushing right off rip. This is some random things I got from it. From the video I watched. The VOD. And I noticed that the only time they ever Breach ulted, instead of a Breach ulting for retake, their Breach tended to just pop their ult whenever they like hard push the site. So pretty much to like stall out. He especially did it against big ults like Gecko ult for example. Like that's what the V ult was when he did that ult. Maybe it's ulted from Garden so he counter ulted that. And we could try doing that if you still have your breach ult because you saved onto it, then we'll just play for retake. But just try doing what the pro did, because you know he's a pro, he probably knows better than us. And if you do have the ult and we have a fatal, I want you to never ult before the fade, okay? Because the fatal should always be used before the breach ult. It could scan everyone. It'll tell where they are, so we know whether to use the breach ult or not, or you could just use a normal stun or some sort of ability. So, as the breach on bind, I want you to always be primary rotator usually. And what that means is you're just rotating off to the other side first before everyone else. So if we think they're leaning B really hard and you're gonna leave the A and you're just gonna go over to B, try to be there before everyone else on our team. Especially when you're playing A. On B you could play slow more. But on A I want you to be primary rotator whenever you play A. You just fast rotate. And if you didn't get to rotate in time and they're already pushing, you could do this support stun for hookah when you think they're hopping out. Try to make it so it gets part of the entrance, but also the hop out. That'll help out the B side players. When you're retaking from A, you get an aftershock this, it's really good. It'll clear out this whole section. Very OP. And I already told you this earlier, right? The other OP aftershock is right there. I would only do this one really with this shock though.
Right there.
Well, you don't have to do it with a shock, it still clears it out. You can push it really easily because of that. So I ignore that comment. And yeah, here's some other stuns. If you're rotating and they're starting to push on, or you think they're about to push on, you could stun garden like this. You're stunning this left side, so whoever's
right there
here could peek out right here and they don't get stunned. We're primarily gonna be smoking the high ground, which is hookah, instead of garden. So they'll be able to peek it with that stun hopefully, and maybe get a kill with that if we're lucky. And if we're pushing A, you could do this, like pushing short, you could do this stun. That stun's really good. If you're pushing 2, then probably just do that. You can flash. Or you could even do like a stun here. And aftershock that. Now one thing I haven't covered yet is you want to be aftershocking whenever they use a Skydog or Soba Drone if they play Soba on this map, which is doubtful, but we're probably going to be going as a Sky. Sky's really common on bind. And the the two most common dog spots they punish are right here, this general area, and right here especially.
Careful there.
And what you're just going to be doing is if you're playing A, you hear the dog, you just aftershock that. If you're on B, then you could aftershock this, as shown. The good thing about this aftershock too is it not only gets the Skydog corner, but it also gets the hookah entrance, so they can't actually cross unless they want to risk getting damaged and, you know, get a free kill usually if they do walk out anyways, as the guy run panicking. And that's really all I had. Sorry, just a lot of repeat stuff because I want to emphasize things, but yeah, hopefully I'll get an attack part done, but I'm not sure yet. But if I don't get attack part, then this is one aftershock you definitely need to know. It plays out all the 2 right there. It does not clear this right side, but we could throw like a fake trap. Or you know, we could just note that they're there. But it's really good as it clears out backside. You gotta float out towards the right and get peeked, or float out towards the left and get peeked. The only way they could live is if they're right here, and we could even spam that.
Right there.
So do note that aftershock if I don't have time for attack.